Welcome to Anime Out of Context, a comedy review show hosted by a basement dweller who grew up scrounging terrible fan subs on sketchy websites prior to the convenience of modern streaming, alongside a willfully ignorant soul whose only knowledge of anime comes from the shows forced upon him here. This show will contain spoilers, incorrect information, and copious amounts of adult language. Our hosts are not experts on any topic, and everything they say should be taken with a grain of salt. Thank you for listening, and enjoy.
Hello and welcome to Anime Out of Context, the show where I attempt to explain the sometimes weird, sometimes wonderful, but always hilarious world of anime.
And I'm here to win, not to make friends.
I'm Shaun Rollins.
I'm Remington Chase.
I didn't realize we were playing Survivor now, Rem.
Well, we are, and I'm gunning for the gold, all right?
You've never seen Survivor, have you?
I'm gonna score a touchdown on your ass.
I see. Well, dated game shows aside.
What do you mean dated? It's still going.
Is it really?
There's 2 seasons every single year.
You're shitting me.
They're on season 40-something.
Fuck me running, dude. I mean, I get it. It's a brilliant concept for a show, but like, holy fuck. I didn't expect it to still be going. Anyways, Rem, I'm here to talk to you about something that you know and love.
God, are you just running on a theme now?
Little bit.
Is this just a theme? Because I know that, like, the past couple weeks, it's like, oh, haha, fuck you, Remington, it's what you love, but actually up yours. And I know that, like, either next week or the week after is going to be, like, our anniversary episode. We also have Valentine's shortly after that, or before that. I never keep track.
Right before that, so.
Okay, so next week is our Valentine's Day episode, and then the week after is our anniversary episode. How romantic.
Yes, I believe so, at least.
Who can tell? But before that, I got to deal with more of this shit.
Well, don't worry, Rem. This is
nonsense.
more current events. Because we just had
oh boy, because one thing I adore is current events.
I meant current events in our personal lives, Rem.
Oh, that's even worse.
Yeah, no, it's more interesting that way. Because, Rem, you and I recently did an activity that went very dramatic. It was one of the most dramatic things we've ever done together.
I think the 3-way went well.
No, not that, Rem. We're not supposed to bring that up on the podcast.
Oh, shit.
No, Rem, what I'm talking about is we played a game together, Remington. And
yes.
Yes, we played a game together, and it got me thinking, oh man, Remington, you know what this boy loves? He loves racing games, and he loves going fast in cars, and just wants to be constantly reminded of the lovely experience he had playing Garfield Kart with one of his best friends.
So this week we're doing Garfield.
Oh, no, fuck off. I'm not doing that. I don't want to research that. You kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me? No, God, no. No, Rem, instead I figured we would do something that we haven't done before, as far as I'm aware. We're gonna be talking about a racing anime, Rem.
Fucking hell. Alright, cool, awesome, love it.
Well, I don't know what you expected, but, like, clearly you have a strong passion for a good race, because otherwise, why would you constantly harass me about playing Garfield Kart and essentially bait me into doing a high-stakes Garfield Kart race, which you lost? I just want to remind folks.
I argue I lost on the technicality.
Interesting.
But I am stuck streaming. Also, I'm gonna be streaming it for a while.
Yeah, I caught clips of your first stream of it.
There's so much.
The puzzle pieces are a bit rough, aren't they?
Oh, God.
But it's okay, Rem. I'm sure you'll be the best Garfield Kart streamer out there by the end of this.
Oh, surely.
Surely. And then you'll win a competition against me if I ever am forced to play it again, which I'm going to avoid that at any cost. But no, Rem, I figured that since your mind is going to be so enamored with racing these days, we should watch an anime that is based all about racing. But I didn't want to do one that's just, some dudes in cars. I wanted it to have a little more zhuzh. I wanted it to have a bit more pizzazz to it, a bit more style. Something to make it more interesting than, a speed racer situation where it's a bunch of dudes in cars going around corners with budget animation.
Well, you've listed the one racing anime that I know.
You know what?
You've checked that one off.
Yeah, no, we're not doing Speed Racers today. Maybe we'll do it in the future, because that is a wild... we've never done anything
I don't
that old.
think anybody has actually seen Speed Racer. I think they've just seen the billion parodies of Speed Racer, which raises the question, why were there so many parodies of Speed Racer for a generation that hardly saw Speed Racer.
Well, I can't attest to that because I have seen Speed Racer Remington.
No, of course you have.
Not much of it, but enough to get an impression.
One of your favorite documakuras is of the car.
I was about to say, Rem, you gotta be very fucking careful because the main character is very much a child.
Are they a child?
Pretty sure, yeah. Look, in driving, when you're driving cars, there are no rules. Apparently, in Speed Racer Land. But no, but I thought that I would go with a show that has been heavily recommended to us for quite a while, and is probably the most stylistic racing show I've ever seen. And
okay.
That even puts, I know your favorite franchise, The Fast and the Furious, to shame.
Okay.
Goodness. Because, Rem, the show we're going to be talking about today is a movie, first of all.
Oh, okay. You know, hey, that's always slightly easier. Almost always slightly easier.
Yep. And the movie we're going to be discussing today is simply called Redline.
Okay.
Have you heard anything about Redline before, Rem?
I've never heard it in my life.
I mean, that's kind of understandable. It came out in 2009. So, wait, a little while ago.
Moments before the Dark Ages.
Yes. And to be fair, movies tend to be a little bit different on that scale. And this movie is very much beloved by many. Because, Rem, this is a movie made by Studio Madhouse, who we've shown many times on this show. And it is probably one of the most stylistic looking racing movies I've seen ever. Because tell me something, Rem, do you like thick lines? What about heavy drop shadows? Neon colors?
Alright, neon colors are always dope. I'm all in on neon.
Dynamic angles.
Sure.
This show has it all. Pompadours that go off screen.
Now I'm sold. Now you got me.
There you go. Because, Rem, what Redline is it is a sci-fi racing show about a series of semi-underground space races. Think like pod racing, but with actual stakes. Wait, you haven't seen Phantom Menace, so that doesn't make sense to you. But you've been on the Star Wars ride in Disneyland, so I suppose you know what pod racing is.
That's basically close enough.
Basically close enough. And this whole movie is about our main character, JP, and his massive fucking pompadour and massive boner for driving really, really quickly, competing in a very heavy, dangerous, semi-underground race on a planet that does not want to host this race, and the events that happen within.
All right, one question I have right off the bat.
All right.
How is his pompadour from a scale of 1 to Johnny Bravo?
Well, I can show you a picture of the cover of the film.
Well, I would love you to, Shaun. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Holy fuck.
It's not always that long, but like there are a lot of angles.
Only when he's horny for racing.
Weirdly, yeah.
What the fuck?
Well, I mean, when they're racing, there's a lot of dramatic angles and going fast, so the pompadour's gonna have a little extra length. I don't know what you expected. But yeah, on the surface, it is just that, Rem. It is a sci-fi, over-the-top racing extravaganza. Think the wacky races, but with a lot of dynamic edges, and for some reason, dog people.
Unironically, kind of hyped now. I've been sold.
Yeah. It is an experience. Are you going to get a incredibly deep storyline that's going to last with you for the years? Probably not.
Oh.
But are you going to get a wild experience with dog people, fast cars, dramatic pompadours, and fun and wacky animation that is all hand-drawn, by the way, which is insane. Like,
But Shaun, on a scale of 1 to your new GF Judy Hopps, how fuckable are the dog people? Are they made for the furries in the audience, or are they just like regular Joe schmoes? I'm just trying to ask and, anchor my question and just trying to make sense of it. Those are some very serious looking dog people.
Oh yeah. When I said the show,
but one of them I have a question. So Shaun sent me a picture of 4 dog
Number 3
people.
is not a dog person.
But he's also not a person.
Well, it is a sci-fi show, my dude. There are a bunch of alien species. It's just that there happens to be a bunch of dog people as well, and I figured you'd find that part interesting.
Person number 3 is a mutt, if you understand my meaning.
You think that person is half dog boy?
Yeah, 1,000,000%.
Yeah. But no, the art direction in this film is beloved by loads of people, and we've been getting emails to review it for ages now, and I figured now would be a good time to do it, since you have racing on the mind so much.
Sure.
And plus, look at this guy. He's got a massive pompadour, and he's got so much style. Is he an asshole? Of course he is. So of course Rem will empathize.
I don't understand what I'm looking at in any photo.
That's okay. You might not even after you finish watching the movie. Just know that car go vroom vroom, go fast, and yeah.
Why does he have clown shoes?
It's just a stylistic angle choice.
What the fuck is happening?
Don't worry about it, Ram. Just go into it and enjoy the raw adrenaline rush that is Redline.
Oh, sure. You know what? New year, new me. Let's get into racing.
I mean, after all, you lost one race. This might be the motivation you need to finish your gauntlet. So without further ado, let's jump straight into it. Let's go watch Redline.
Question 1. Do you like feet? I don't know if Redline wanted any substance. PG-13 can have a little nudity.
Can it?
Yeah!
Have I just been going to the wrong PG-13 movies?
PG-13 titty.
I don't like that. I don't like that phrasing. That makes me uncomfortable. And we are back after watching the entirety of 2009's Redline. And Remington, are you feeling fast? You feeling speedy? You feeling spacey?
I can feel my pompadour extending as we speak, Shaun.
Hopefully it's just the pompadour, Rem. Otherwise, we might need to rebrand our podcast a little bit.
Alright, so, how the fuck am I gonna talk about Redline? Let's...
I figured it would be a bit of a challenge, because it's both very simple and very, dynamic, let's say.
Here, let me give you the basics. Boy gets in race, he wins. Now, there's a lot of other stuff that it seems like might be important. None of it is. Literally, not a single other thing is. Maybe the romance, the girl, she's relevant. Nothing else. Which is a shame because I was all in on Funky Boy. Well, you might think Funky Boy, that's a racer? No.
No.
We'll get to Funky Boy. All right. Okay. Huh.
Well, Rem, you've got look, we haven't covered racing anime before. Like, this is a first for us. We gotta make sure that we're doing the genre proper. We gotta make sure that you give it all the love and credit it deserves, because this is one of the most requested films we've gotten in a lot of emails I've received.
It's wild to me that this was released in 2009 because it feels like 90s as hell, or like even 80s.
It's riding those influences extra hard.
Oh yeah, it is a wild throwback. Visually, even with how it tells the story and the pacing, for better or worse, mostly worse, but we'll get to that. But let me say right up front, first, like, if you care, I'm gonna be spoiling everything. I don't think that matters.
I mean, it's a racing movie, my dude. Like, if people can't guess the plot line of a racing movie, they're in trouble.
All the surprises are irrelevant to the plot, I would say. You go and watch it if it's interesting to see, for sure. We open up, we see a finish line, right? And all of these different characters, and their movements so uncannily fluid. All the creatures so unnervingly detailed. This would have given me nightmares when I was young, like hardcore.
Oh, 100%.
This would have traumatized me. But they're at the finish line, and then we see some like racers zoom in. Well, they're not at the finish line; they're near the finish line, and some racers zoom past. The only ones that matter, we got JP, our protagonist with the big pomp.
Yep.
And then we have her nickname is Cherry Boy Hunter. I don't remember her actual name.
Sanashi.
Sanashi. So Sanashi, she's it's between her and JP. Eventually, JP's car gets fucked, and Sanashi, she wins. I don't know. All right, so JP has a friend, old pal Frisbee, right? They go way back. Frisbee's like the engineer, but he is also involved with the mafia, and he has to pay off his debts, and his life is on the line perpetually. And so they are fixing the race against JP, but also it very much just seems like JP isn't a part of this agreement.
I mean, he is. He is. It's just, once you're behind the wheel, man, winning that race, that's the priority.
Fuck your friend. Let him get killed by... I don't know, because, like, it gets fucked up as Frisbee predicted, but it also doesn't seem like it was quote-unquote according to plan, but it was according to plan?
Look, Frisbee just put in a little bit of a failsafe, just in case.
I don't know what JP thought he was doing.
Oh, JP wanted to win the race. That's what JP wants to do.
Okay, cool,
That's all JP wants to do. He probably agreed to it, but it's just, once he gets on that track, the pomp takes over and he just speeds to the finish.
Which you think could be like an interesting point to discuss in the narrative? Never. Never once. Anyway, Sanashi, she wins. And JP ends up in the hospital. So Sanashi, she qualifies for the big race, the big Redline race. JP is like frustrated and mad. But turns out just every step of the way, I'm like, how do I... All right. So the Redline race is taking place on a Robo World,
yes,
right?
Yes.
Which at first I thought this was going to be a sort of like World Cup where it shouldn't be kind of situation, but it's kind of the opposite. Instead of holding the World Cup at a place known for human rights abuses and atrocities, instead it was like holding the World Cup in a place that in like North Korea, and they don't want you there. Yeah. Which I'll be honest, sort of fucked up. Like Robo World's like, hey, we don't want like you to televise our planet on our military secrets, because it looks like the race course is going right over our top secret military base, and that'll be televised. We don't want that. And then every planet involved with Redline is like, fuck you, but fuck you, we got a race. And it's like, why on this planet? Because fuck you. I don't understand.
You don't need to understand, Rem. It's just great. It's wonderful.
So 2 racers have dropped out because of the controversies and the fact that it's not going to be a race, it's going to be a war zone down there. Which means, hey, JP, he's in. Cool. Okay. Every time we finish one thought, I'm like, how do we transition? Because the show sure as hell doesn't care to transition. The show is just like, all right, fuck you, this is what we're doing now.
Look, let's put it this way, Rem. Like, we don't need to give the full play-by-play for Redline. Redline is an experience. You just gotta talk about your feelings, man. You gotta talk about your emotions.
Are you telling me I shouldn't talk about Spider Grandpa?
You can talk about Spider Grandpa. I mean, it's not the first time you've seen a Spider Grandpa. It's actually the second.
Alarmingly.
Yeah,
Alarmingly.
It's the second time you've had a Spider Grandpa in your anime lexicon. And this one is a bit more,
Or there's some scamming chicken boys. I like them.
They're pretty neat, yeah.
I will say, what they... Due to the heavy stylization, it does make clarity of action a bit difficult to understand. At any given point, you'll have a vague feeling about what's going on, but I don't think you'll, like... If someone were to, like, ask you what just happened, you'd be like, I don't really know. They fought or something. Just go with it. And then you move on to the next thing.
I mean,
which, like,
it's all about feeling it, Rem.
It really is. Like, this is a vibe-based show. And I will argue this show quite worthwhile. However, is entirely style over substance. Some might think that's an unfair criticism, but I don't even know if it's a criticism. I don't know if Redline wanted any substance. I think it was just a series of, yo, you know it would be rad as hell, and then they just wrote that in, and they just kept doing that. And that's how you make Redline.
Hey, Rem, congratulations, you fucking nailed it.
Like, it feels like there's all this stuff going on. There's like all these different species, all of this politics going on, all these different ideas. But it's not like there's been no thought of like what are the implications of these things. It's just like, yeah, you know what will be fucking rad? What if we had this kind of species and this type of civilization? Hell yeah, brother, that's cool. And that's just that. But like a bunch, they did that a lot. So there's a lot going on, always. And it's all pretty neat. It's all pretty rad. I think this is a worthwhile movie, so long as you're just there to vibe. If you're just there to vibe, you're gonna vibe. If you're there for a deep story, I have terrible news.
Rem, I told you from the get-go that what we're going into is not, like, we're not gonna get some Machiavellian storylines. We're not going to get some kind of grand odyssey of a tale. We're watching dudes in fancy space cars going very fast in a very cool way.
That being said,
movie.
One critique I have that I think could have enhanced the vibes a bit. All right, because I'm gonna level with it basically. All right.
Right.
I might take note of any critiques on like story and stuff, mostly just in things that show up and then aren't super wildly relevant. Funky Boy, I brought him up earlier, and he is a weapon of mass destruction that he's basically like a walking radiation bomb that's gigantic, kaiju size, that gets awoken, starts fucking shit up, and then a robot taps in to an eldritch salamander kaiju. They battle, and then orbital lasers fire down upon them to stop Funky Boy.
Yeah.
And then Funky Boy regenerates, and then we move on. Like, we get it. They could have just said, like, okay, Funky Boy's no longer an issue. Let's focus on the race now. Instead, they were like, Funky Boy is still very much an issue. He has regenerated and is going to fuck shit up. But don't worry about that. We have a race to watch.
I mean, it's on Robo World, so who really cares? Like, let's be real.
Such an odd decision. Like, you tied it up neatly, and then you undid it. Anyway, so like decisions like that, which are just kind of weird, which I can only imagine, like, they came from just being like, oh, dude, and then, like, he comes back and he starts fucking shit up. Yeah, all right, anyway. Like, that was the whole thought process of this.
Look, Rem, I'm here to tell you that Redline, the goal of Redline, Rem, is to take a story and make it as cool as possible without really thinking about the consequences, because the star of this entire movie...
You know what would have been cool as hell? You know what would have been dope as fuck? Hear me out, Shaun. Funky Boy, this giant radiation kaiju, right?
Right.
He sees the racers, and he uses his powers to transform himself into a giant radiation car, and he joins the race.
That would have been pretty good. That would have been pretty good. That would have been pretty fucking solid, honestly. But to be fair, they already had 100,000 frames of animation to do, so, like, I'll cut them some slack. Because this movie is very much, especially for the time, a bunch of really creative animators being like, hey, can we do this?
Yeah.
And how far can we go? And they went pretty fucking far with the whole animation of everything, and I love it. It's fucking fantastic.
But my biggest critique, I would say, for the race itself, I wanted more interactions. They would occasionally highlight one of the other racers, but I wanted it to be like proper wacky races. Let's have some weird interactions all throughout. But the pacing was a bit off because, unfortunately, they spend a bit too much time not fucking racing. And like, I don't know, don't get me wrong, there was some cool stuff in the not racing. I especially liked like seeing the world and like the newscasts, both like some of the best character intros we've had in any anime we've ever seen, where they were pretty brief, but at the same time got us to understand the characters, the dynamics, what their thing is, and then how they're going to be a little bit memorable, right? Unfortunately, the introductions of these characters, of the other races, are probably the most, if not the only, memorable thing about most of them, which is unfortunate. Because I wanted, like, to see, I got a little hyped during those intros. I was like, I can't wait to see how these all blend together, right? Because that's what the intros are hyping you up for. Look at all these wacky characters. What happens when they come together, right? But they just don't interact at all. And that's disappointing, because the whole setup was, look at all these characters. Then we got Robo World going on. We got these dynamics going on. What's going to happen? And then it's just a pretty straightforward race.
Yeah, like, Rem,
we can't set up with that much insanity, and then just have a pretty normal race. Like, it's a high-octane race. A bunch of crazy shit, I suppose, happens, but none of it has to do with the wacky personalities involved. I wanted, Shaun, this was a worthwhile experience. It just made me want to watch wacky races.
Oh, no! A crowning achievement in the art of 2D animation, and you want to go back to the fucking 80s and watch Dick Dastardly and Muggsy ham it up.
You'll always... No, I'm not gonna say
I was about to say, that's not a joke you want to make, sir. Because, Rem, this is very much a cult film. Like, especially in the West, it's considered a cult film, and it didn't even actually do all that great in the box office. But it did well enough to, like, cement itself as an iconic experience for a lot of people.
Yeah, because how do you sell it? It's a weird as fuck racing show. Okay.
Yep.
And you're like, well, I can't really explain it further. You just sort of have to... You can take a chance on it and hope that it resonates with you, but there's not really a way to sell this to people.
No.
Like, this is one of the least marketable shows we've ever covered, ever. Like, a racing show. Okay, so if I'm a fan of racing shows, I'll like this. I mean, maybe. No, do you like racing shows? I don't know, man. Anyway, another thing, so, eventually... Sanashi?
Yep, Sanashi.
Sanashi, her car gets totaled, which also felt like a little bit lame. Because I'll be honest, by the end, Sanashi is like the real protagonist here. Like, she has a backstory where it's like ever since she was young, she wanted to win the race, right? She wants to prove how good she can be. That's her whole life. And then her car is the one totaled, and it's like, well, don't worry, you can just be in the same car as JP, I guess. Like, that's not satisfying. And then at the end, they kiss each other, which I like, it was obvious, but also a bit bland.
I mean, 2009, my dude. Like, that's just the way it goes.
And then, a baffling decision to juxtapose the blandness. After they cross the finish line, they kiss, and then a big, kinda ugly love fills the screen, then transitions into a lovey-dovey the end.
Yeah.
In a baffling stylistic choice.
I love it. It's so great.
I don't necessarily hate it. It bewildered me.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's as if it was saying, yes, what a classical romance this story was. But not in the way of like, this story, it may not seem like it, but it actually is. But like, it wasn't at all. It just wasn't in any way a romance movie. It wasn't.
No.
So yeah, there's a billion things I didn't talk about because how could I?
You can't. Redline is an experience that you gotta experience yourself. Like, even with all your criticisms, Rem, would you recommend people go and watch it?
If you don't have motion sickness. Would I recommend most people watch it? Sure. Would I recommend people like our good editor Dylan? Dylan might like it stylistically. It also might genuinely make him sick.
Although, to be fair, a rocking horse makes the guy motion sick. But that's a fair point.
Yeah, it gets pretty intense sometimes.
Oh yeah, it's very fluid with all of its motions because they were very determined to make every single frame hand drawn. Like it was 2009, so there was the start of regularly inserting, that's the word, CG elements, but Redline is all hand drawn, heavy line, heavy shadow, Sakuga nonsense, and I love that for it. Oh god, it can get a bit little woozy though if you don't really handle like lots of dynamic motion very well. But if you do, go watch it. It's great. You'll have a grand old time. It's wonderful. Although for some reason, when I was looking up places for Rem to potentially watch it, I came across it on Amazon Prime, and for some reason they listed as a PG-13 movie, which I thought was a bit of a weird choice.
I mean, makes sense.
Yeah, it just has a little bit more nudity than a PG-13 movie normally has. Which
it doesn't have. It only has a little bit of nudity.
Still though, like it's a little more than I would have.
PG-13 can have a little nudity.
Can it?
Yeah.
Have I just been going to the wrong PG-13 movies?
PG-13 titties.
I don't like that. I don't like that phrasing. That makes me uncomfortable. Oh dear God, Ref.
Here, there's. I don't know why, but one of the first results is every female topless / full frontal scene in PG-13 movies. Somebody accumulated that.
Oh God. That takes a lot of effort.
My life is worse knowing that somebody did that. Why? What is the purpose? I guess the catalog so you could be like, oh yeah, I let my kids watch PG-13, but if they see a nipple, they gotta die.
You gotta start over. You gotta get new kids. That's it. You can't use the old ones. They're tainted. You gotta get rid of them.
The only time my child ever needs to see a titty is when they're being breastfed as a baby. Other than that, even after getting married, they should never see a titty.
Nope.
Unnecessary for them.
It's against God himself, Ram.
Looking at titties ain't a part of procreation. It ain't right.
I can't wait till we get emails thinking people thinking we're serious about that. Because we probably will. People send us emails about our jokes all the time, which is interesting.
Hey, Shaun, I'm very serious about my titty politics.
I mean, to be fair, after what happened to the World Politics subreddit, that kind of makes sense. Oh, God. Okay, Rem. The point is, Redline is an experience that you should experience. Just don't go into it expecting a grand story.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Go for the vibes. Have fun. With that in mind, do you have any guesses on what the mouse score for Redline is? Because this is probably going to be a little bit of a harder one for you.
I mean, it's a cult classic, so it's got to be high. Like, not many people have seen it, but the people who have usually, and the people who care to rate it, because either you hardly watched any of it, or you're probably all in on it. I think it's going to be like, solid point 8.01.
8.01. Well, with only 188,000 ratings, surprisingly. Or not so surprising. Well, it's hard to say. Weebs are weird. Redline is sitting nice and pretty at 8.28.
Okay.
Because generally speaking, Rem, like, the people who have criticisms about this film are the people who wanted a more complex, deep, and nuanced story. Everybody else who went into it wanting a interesting, fun, wacky racing experience with weird dynamic animation and massive pompadours came out of it loving it.
See, and I think that even on vibes, I think I have some genuine critiques, but overall, if you're here for the vibes, it still succeeds. It just could have succeeded a little better.
Yeah, but for 2009, not too shabby. So I suppose with that in mind, final question I have to ask you, Rem, is there any chance you'd want to watch Redline again sometime?
Once was probably enough, but who knows? Maybe who knows? Maybe for an April Fool's, I'll throw wacky races at you. We'll see how things go.
Oh, sure. Look, I
slot that into the possibilities.
At the very least, hopefully I got your mind off of Garfield Kart.
Oh, God.
So with that in mind, thank you all so much for tuning in. We really appreciate it. If you enjoy Remington having the raw adrenaline rush of massive pompadours flying in his face, then please head on over to wherever you get your podcasts, whether that be Apple Podcasts, Podbean, Stitcher, Spotify, and leave us a review. We read every single one, and they do mean the world to us. And if that is still not enough for you, you can head on over to twitch.tv/animeoutofcontext, where myself, Dylan, and Remington do occasionally play video games. And if you want a little bit more Remington in your diet, Remington has also recently started his own problem. His own problem? His own project. I mean, in a way, it's kind of a problem. You've fucked up your sleep schedule even worse than usual recently.
Oh, it's true. It's true. Yeah, I catch me streaming at twitch.tv/Remington Chase as well.
Yes. Go check that out and support our boy in his extra project that he is going to kill himself making.
Truth.
And if that is still not enough for you, you can head on over to patreon.com/animeoutofcontext, where you can gain access to all kinds of lovely bonus material, including having the opportunity to be thanked live on the podcast. So, Rem, who are we thanking this week?
As always, we would like to send our regards to all of our bland bitch protagonists, as well as our magical girls, who we really appreciate. But moving on, we get to the Yandere waifu tier, who, through the sheer speed of their velocity, are extending our pomp endlessly. I'm sorry. Sometimes you just see where it goes, and sometimes that's where it goes.
Rem, do you think that you and I could rock pomps? Like full-on JP pomps?
I'm rocking one right now. Drum Quetzalcoatl for Anime Out of Context mascot, says Miska, earnestly expecting praise and reward. Zombie Stomp, Zhao Sheng Hao Zhong Wo Shizai Wai O Bing Chilling. Xanax, y'all just found out I'm having a baby. I need names. What about Cherry Boy Hunter? Yandere Neko, Waishon, Huvo. What the hell am I doing here? I don't belong here. Walk me gently, wait a shell. Unsettling squelching gets me randy, baby.
I don't like that.
Trenton Farrell, Totally God's Angel, Titan CNH, thou may ingest a satchel full of Richards. The villain behind glasses, the Susanator, the Big Bean, Turban, Tainted Venom, Syrup the Turtle, Spicitis. So many new sets got announced in White Sword. Spike's Family is one of them. More coming soon. Sad Secondary, Shoujo Addict, who doesn't need help, just more manga to read and anime to watch. Shaun, punish Rem for shitting on Angel Beats, make much testament of the sister New Devil. Shaun, read this. Oh, okay, I, Shaun, have an STD, thanks to my job as a MILF hunter. Shaun had a lass that could go all night, but he got out of breath when he had to blow her up. Seth Senju, Salty Pretzel, Ross Angel Palmer, Rhiannon Williams, revisit Yuri on Ice, and I'll share pictures of my super fluffy white puppy. Rem loves Shaun's dice. Rem reacted to my Patreon name, and I got all giddy, do. Please review High Score Girl, Pirate Wing, Paco El Musico. Other McNutt says Rem was right about Angel Beats. On the count of 3, release the Holy Hand Grenade. Oh no, I just wound you. Don't tell me you're broken. That's not fair. I've taken extra good care of you and everything. What? Not a podcast episode recommendation, but make Rem watch The Spider and the Tulip, a cute 15-minute movie. No Waifu, No Laifu, Nitsaira, Nick Harvey. Miska is going to see a production of Attack on Titus Andronicus, says Miska, in the matter of a theater patron. Makeka7 Hierto, Mexican Gun Freaks, Levi Bowles, Leave Denji and Pochita out of harm's way, Shaun. Kylo, Keegan Talbot, Kazati, Karma Chaos, Just Quit My Job, Goodbye Patreon, XOXO, Less Depressed, Not Retail Worker, Just Finished a Place Further in the Universe and only cried like 10 times, Big Wins. Juan Heritos, Joshua Dinosaur, Jax, Janine, Jamhands. I've had nightmares like this, says Miska. It's Shaun, not Shaun or Shaun. Isekai Rem into Kirito's harem and force him to act like Mikasa. I'm funding Shaun's date night with his favorite waifu, Judy Hopps from Zootopia. Hell yeah.
I hate it.
If I gift you a copy of Yakuza 0, will you play it on stream? I don't know what to put here, so here's the rhyme I was named after. Mares eat oats and does eat oats and little lambs eat ivy. A kid I want Rem to ruin Darling in the Franks for me. I, Remington, am simply one of an infinitesimal amount of creations in the universe from an imagination of a high school girl. I, Rem, love to rest my head on my dear old mum's voluptuous ass. I have Nanako Dojima Angel Daki with Shaun's name on it. I don't know what to put here. Hunter Davies, happy 5-year anniversary. What jolly month for everyone to join the inappropriate Joey Wheeler tier. We're about to celebrate our 5-year anniversary, which is insane. How would a dodecafuck even be possible or work, especially when an angel is involved, asks Misaka with an extremely puzzled look. Holy shit, I just heard Salty Pretzel playing Does Mitsugi's Mom Know on the AAA podcast in an episode from 2018. I don't understand. Hey Shaun, are you an angel? Because I want to give you a beating. Hanakawa, Hachiroku, going down on Shaun's grandma. Nomeo and Julia
God.
is my... it's pretty good. It's pretty good.
There's nothing good about that.
Romeo and Juliet is my favorite anime. Another good one. Glenn Michael Dolan. For my next strike, I will make my pee-pee disappear. Burn the guy man or something. Farmer Weed wants to ask the Miskas if a Misaka Daki would be inappropriate for Daki Martra. Oh, God. Fantide, Dylan Hayden, Duck, Drink Angel Milk to prevent wobbly bones, not a conspiracy. Does listening to Rem rip my favorite anime and enjoying it make me a masochist? Daddy Rem, tell me a bedtime story. Cubics Robots for Everyone is my favorite anime. Creed 13, Cheese Monkey, Brockhard for Geodudes. Bria Loves Cheese, Black Star, Big Blue Bear Boy. BAI, a slice of life about a weeb named Rem who just sits in his basement, watches anime, and podcasts about them. Angel, Andrew Sinclair, and the Angel Michael said to the farmer, fuck your wallet, I love those goddamn birds. Elise Howard, Alpha Angel, AJ Tunnels peeks out of the blanket cocoon to say never leave your blanket cocoon. AJ Honey, A Daze, Aaron Hegland, and now we go to the Boy Wizard tier where you get the task you avoided by writing a Patreon name. Chris, you get planning your fiance's B-day. But we also, actually have, another one, and it's a haiku about Shaun. He has awoken. In the castle of Dockies, Judy Hopps won't escape. Very nice. A beautiful haiku.
Why do people always jump on your memes? Why do people always jump on your memes?
I'm pretty good at memeing them into existence, Shaun.
You meme them into existence solely to make me suffer.
Hey, no! I want you to succeed and thrive with your waifu Judy Hopps. Now we move to the Boy Wizard tier, where, it's an easy one. You might think, oh, wacky racist characters. We gotta save that one. Because but instead, the characters that will be given out are Twisted Metal characters. All right.
Are you gonna have enough?
There's so many games, probably. We'll see. Zachary Shirley is back, baby. You are going to get, Agent Stone. Warning, you're 799 episodes away. You get Angela Fortin. Vincent Calabrese, you get Apocalypse 9. The Fitness Grand Pacer test is a multi-stage aerobic capacity test that progressively gets more difficult as it continues, students. You get Black. The Brown Mamba is back after being abducted to Layton, Utah for 2 years. You get Bruce Cochrane. Last Patreon was supposed to be lyrics from Circus for a Psycho. Also, Rem, there's no more enthusiasm when you read the Patreon. You get Bruce's former boss. It's just all the characters, not even just the race. It's just all the characters. You get your Bruce's former boss. Chimeras, you are Bruce's girlfriend.
Man,
Sarah Bernowski, you are Bruce's partner.
What a fucking comprehensive list.
Oh, God. Hey, that ain't easy, okay? Roscop, you get Calypso. Robert Atchison, you get Captain Spears. Rem, how did you like the revisit of 12 episodes of Attack on Titan? Look, I'm aware it's coming. I'm aware. I've seen the poll. My head isn't that far in the sand. I know what's coming. My worry is that it's gonna be very soon. Then you get Carl Roberts. OMG Shaun, Body Pillow Lover, killed Kenny. You get, Charlie Kane. Oh, Shaun, real quick before I forget, we're watching Clandid next week, right? You get Commander Mason. My Afro ate my dog. You get Crazy Harold, the wacky lunch sack.
Pardon?
Mike got his Overlord review. You get, Dave. Miguel Dalion, you get Mike. Massimo Martelli, you get Mr. Ash. Latino saw Denji erase Rem's bloodline with kicks. You get Mr. Grimm. Jack Wagon says, Cheese Sweet Home. You are going to get Needles Cane.
Yeah, that's the clown, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, no, is it? I don't know.
Pretty sure it is. That name sounds familiar.
Yeah, it is.
Okay, cool.
It should have been the other Nakano. You are going to get Scott Campbell. Then I, Remington, have Christ, God,
what
no.
What the fuck?
Layers of no. Just censor that whole name, Dylan. Just the whole name.
You know who you are.
Hey, if your name wasn't read, it was the censored one.
Yeah.
You get Dollface. If you don't watch Healer Girl, an angel beats a penguin up. Also, I Rem Still Girl. You get Krista Sparks. I'm Rem, say that Shaun's grandma's an angel in bed. I can't hold it back anymore. You get, Pedestrians.
Oh no, those are the last people you want to be in a Twisted Metal game.
True. I can't fuck my non-existent sister, sad face. Changed my mind. You are going to get Preacher. Hello Rex, you are going to get The Clowns. Just the category, I suppose. Go ahead, call the cops. It won't silence the voices. They're getting louder. Please send help. You get The Dolls. Darth Pikachu wants Stan Koi review.
You're just naming the factions, aren't you?
Yes, the Holy Men. They're in the character names, okay? Cryptid MILF humbly requests your consideration of reviewing Inuyasha for Valentine's Day. Hey, we'll see next week. You get the Skulls. Crimson Reapers, just because of the scythes, you are going to get Amanda Watts. Carver 271. Have I given out Axel yet? I don't think so.
I don't remember Axel.
All right, well, you get Axel. Brian Audit, you are going to get Ken Masters. Beethoven 1201, you get Minion. Because of my poor preparation for 12 Days of Christmas, I asked Shaun to show me Redo of Healer. You get Mortimer. Aaron, it's Jay. I know you listen to this pod. Jesus fucking Christ!
I hope that's not true. Do not use our podcast to announce news like that, please.
Holy shit. Well, hey, you get Simon Whittlebone. Aaron Angel, you get Jamie Roberts. Animated Z, you are going to get Connor Nazang. Allfather wants Shaun to show Rem the cute short form dog anime this season with BS Rule, 37 weeks left. You get General Warthog. A boy who will save anyone, even if they are not a good person or even alive, even if it costs him his life to do it. You get Quattro. There you go. You guys all got your characters. Now, we move on to the inappropriate Joey Wheeler tier, where everybody will... Shaun will assign everybody a wacky racer, and I will tell you what the name of your car is. Wacky racer does not actually need to be one of the wacky racers. It can be literally anybody, Shaun.
Literally anybody. So you tell me my quick Google of wacky racer characters is useless.
If you want to use them, it's up to you. But ideally use things I know so I can give a name. Otherwise, we'll see. We start with Swedish Weeb.
Your racer is Bill Nye the Science Guy.
The car is Bill. Next up we got Rem murders elephants and Shaun hates penguins. What is the world coming to?
You get Sylvester Stallone.
All right, yeah, he's driving the punching bag. There we go to Raftalia's My Anime Waifu Has Returned.
You get you get Harry from Home Alone.
You get the oh no. Magic Ice Ball.
You get King Louie from the Jungle Book.
What the fuck? What? Who's King Louie?
Is the orangutan.
Okay. You are going to get the Balu Swing. Next up we got Hermione Pegs, Harry and Ron.
You get Frozone from The Incredibles.
You get the I mean you just get the super suit. Next up we have My Dear Old Mum.
You get R2-D2.
You get an assortment of beeps. No, it's not actually just beeps. It is entitled An Assortment of Beeps.
I loved their debut album.
Next up we have David Norstad. I gotta say Joey Wheeler. Fuck.
You get Casey Jones from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Who the
That's the dude with the hockey mask. Do you not know your Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle lore?
I was really hoping that it was one of their love interests, because then I was gonna say that
it depends on which fanfiction you read.
You know what? Then we'll go with it. All right. You're riding the turtle. Just like Shaun at the club, right? Hey! Alright, next up we got Blood Cell. For real, not the white one this time. I'm sick of their Caucasian audacity, if you will.
Okay. Oh, Christ almighty. You get, Loki, the Marvel one.
You are going to, nice and simple, you're just getting the mischievous troublemaker. Then we got, last but not least, Blake.
Blake, you're getting... Ooh, that's a good one. You're getting Gimli from Lord of the Rings.
And my axe. All right, there we go. Thank you all for tuning in. If you want to reach out, whether it's for a comment, question, feedback, or recommendation, you can tweet us at AnimeConPod on Twitter or send an email over onto animeoutofcontext@gmail.com.
Once again, guys, thank you all so much for tuning in. We love and appreciate you very, very much. And as always, don't fuck your sister.
Do 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 do.
Fucking water! That's not even alcoholic!
Shaun, how would you feel
Uh-oh.
if, hypothetically,
Okay.
your mom hooked up with one of your friends?
Stay away from my mother, Remington.
Does that mean I'm good?
I'm in and have been in a very committed relationship. Let's face it, I didn't have a lot of reservations, hesitations, nor standards. All right, one question I have right off the bat.
All right.
How is his cock from a scale of Joe Rogan to Johnny Bravo?
Well, I can show you a picture of
I would love you to, Shaun. Holy shit.
Yep.
Holy fuck.
It's not always that long, but, like, there are a
What
lot
do you
of
mean it's
angles.
not only when he's horny for racing?
Weirdly, yeah.
What the fuck?
Well, I mean, when they're racing, there's a lot of dramatic angles and going fast, so the penis is gonna have a little extra length. I don't know what you expected.
Fuck your friend. Let him get killed. PG-13 can have a little nudity.
Can it?
Yeah.
Have I just been going to the wrong PG-13 movies?
PG-13 titties.
I don't like that. I don't like that phrasing. That makes me uncomfortable.